This is Gary from BTTFParts. It's sometime in early March, and yes, it's raining, and my car's out in the rain. Oh, lovely. Wanted to get this update right before spring break, so I could finally show everybody that I've been doing something on the car. The latest thing, the last couple of updates I've done have been the rear vent systems. You can see here we've got the screen accurate hoses, which are made by Pacific Flexible Metal in California. They made a custom order of hoses for both the driver's and passenger side, which match the fittings and everything used on the film. I've also gone through and painted my rear vents to the proper translucent, burnt, brownish color like they used for the films. All the research I've been able to do points to the fact that they use some sort of a tinted clear coat. This is done with a couple layers of a translucent paint, a goldish translucent paint, some black translucent paint, and also some a really cool stuff called metal cast smoke, which is a translucent dark gray. And I also use that on some of the really bright parts to tone down their shine. So pretty good, a little bit of reflection, but also a little bit of the color. Here's a really good shot where you can see some of the brown tone, kind of a warm hue that you get with those vents. Again, here's the passenger side tube with the slightly different fitting. Goes on up into the bulkhead, and it's got all our wires and hoses and stuff done up. Also have put in this AeroQuip hose with some custom flanges that I bought out of California this last November when I took a trip out there for parts. Of course, our Mr. Fusion, which you've seen before. Forgive the Mr. Fusion deck. It was a really quick mock-up. I haven't had a chance to polish it back out. I still have some tooling marks from the water jet cutter when they cut me the extra pieces. So all good. Got a couple hoses I still need to re-update for the car and make it more accurate. Just a couple little things like that. Today, probably the biggest part I want to show you guys is the CO2 venting systems. I showed a little bit of this in the Halloween video earlier this year, but it was pitch black dark. You couldn't see anything. Hopefully today it's cool enough and humid enough that we'll be able to get the systems to go up. So let me look in here. Here you can see the horns for the CO2 system. That's a 15-pound fire extinguisher head. The film car used 10-pound heads, but in talking with some fire extinguisher guys I know, they said there's no difference between 5 and 10. It's just a matter of what extinguisher they're mounted to. You can also see in here the halogen light that I installed for the parade to light up the rear vents. And I'll go ahead and hook a battery up to those and wire those up for this video shoot when we fire off the vents here in a little bit. Nothing too special about it. You know, it's just run a tank to the hoses that go to the horns in the rear of the vents. And there's the passenger side. The hoses for the CO2 come through right here. They come out of this hole, and this is, this same hole's on the screen used cars, because that's where they ran the same CO2 lines. We'll go over the hoses and around. Got a couple detail parts here I don't think we've ever shown before. This is the black shock mount replica that I've made. There's our infamous medical heat sink, which is very, very hard to find. Just recently, my friend Tom discovered that the last remaining film used one was on a replica car out in Mississippi. It's kind of cool. But those go into the car. On the film used cars, they didn't have a weather seal bulkhead. They didn't have a seal between the inside and the outside of the car. These hoses just went down. They went down into the body, and they had tanks and apparatus and everything in underneath where it all got exposed and torn up to the weather. These hoses actually interconnect with the driver's side, and they branch into a T, which is right back here. Let's see if I can show you. Branches into this T fitting, which goes down into the car. And we'll zoom out here, come out a little bit, and they actually come through the inside of the car and come through a hole in the number 1 bulkhead here. The film used cars have similar holes, but we're not quite sure what they were for. General consensus is that they're for the CO2 system, and the hoses went to a tank. In this case, for my car, I'm just using a little 15-pound CO2 fire extinguisher, and it hooks up to the hose. I have about a 6 foot 8 foot length of hose here, which allows me to get access to it. For the Ghouls Gone Wild parade, in Oklahoma City, I had a 15-pound tank. This is a 10, so it's a little bit shorter. The 15-pound is longer, so the length actually put the handle right about here, which is the perfect handle while I was driving to grip, which you can see in that video. So here, this would be a little bit trickier. I just set it in the seat in a different spot and fire it off. So there's really not too much to it. You get about 10 seconds of CO2 discharge, probably a little bit less with the 10-pound tank, but it's enough for 2 or 3 quick bursts at a parade or some sort of car show to get people's attention. And it's loud as all get out. I mean, you have no idea. So it goes all pretty well. So now I'll set the camera up and do a shot showing the vents doing their CO2 trick. Now that we're in the car, you can see the CO2 tank I told you about earlier. Firing off the CO2 system is just as easy as pulling the pin and pulling the handle. And as I mentioned earlier, with the 15-pound tank, it's a little bit longer. It's actually right about here, so it's just the perfect distance to yank the tank. So now, Bree will pan over to the back of the car, show you the vents, and I'll flip on the light systems and we'll fire it off.
Go.
Come back from time. So, wow. Zoom in here and check this out. Look at all the frost that's built up on these things. It's crazy. It's all cool. Nifty. So there you go. That's the CO2 vent system. So, hope you enjoyed that. A couple more updates and then we're pretty much done with the car. So till then, this is Gary with BTTF Parts, signing off.